Hi, this is Joanne Faith Richards, author of Godincidences, a Jamaican woman's journeys with God. I promised a few days ago that I would read a portion of the book for you, and especially from the chapter where I talk about how gunmen came into my house. So here it is, and here's the cover of the book, right? So if you go onto Amazon, you will find it there. So this chapter is called Costa Rican Adventure. They Came with Guns, and the story spans from June 2006 to February 2007. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord. Isaiah 54, verse 17. In June 2006, on my way back to Costa Rica from a trip through the Eastern Caribbean, I picked up a CD put out by Precision Center in Antigua. I was impressed that this CD was different from the usual fare and that it contained spiritual truths that I needed to pay attention to. It wasn't until about a week later that I was listening to it at home in Costa Rica and fell asleep. I was really tired and, truth be told, a little depressed. It's one of the hazards of this assignment. Somehow, a week after I get back from a project, I usually go through up to a week of feeling low. I'm not sure what woke me, but I awoke a few minutes before 6 in the evening. I went to my laptop at the desk in my room to see who was online. I heard some loud noises, but thought they were coming from next door, so I paid them no attention. I had just typed one word and was about to hit the send button when I heard loud footsteps coming up the stairs inside my house. My mind worked as quickly as it could, trying to figure out who had keys to the house and would come in without calling first. I didn't have time to come up with an answer. My bed door room, my bedroom door burst open. I screamed. I saw a gun fall to the floor. The man in the doorway recovered quickly, bent and picked up the gun, and in a very smooth motion pulled down a mask to cover his face. Is anyone else in the house? No, was my response. I really should have told him yes. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Hindsight is always 2020, they say. He then told me to get on the floor and cover myself with a comforter. Since he was the one with a gun in his hand, I didn't think it was my place to argue, especially when I heard other footsteps running up the stairs and realized that he was not alone. Through the comforter, I saw the shadows moving towards the desk where my laptop was. Oh no, that was God's provision. And it was only 6 months old. There was no way they could take that. Plus, I had some stuff on it that had not yet been backed up. I had to try. Um, may I back up the laptop first? Baby, shut up. We don't want to hurt you. I felt I was on the verge of wetting my pants. In fact, I almost did. Almost, but not quite. What could I do now? How was this all going to play out? I couldn't deal with the fear that was threatening to overtake me. What were my options? Worship. The first song on my CD, The World is Waiting, says, when I get into your presence, time stands still. It's a place of comfort. It's a place of refuge. It's a place of escape. I badly needed to escape. Knowing that God is sovereign freed me to worship, and I did. Lord, you are awesome. I worship you, Lord. I don't know for sure how long they were in the house. When I no longer heard sounds, I gingerly peeped out from under the comforter and saw the cat sitting on the chair. I was like, where were you when I needed you? I glanced up and saw the phone still sitting on the desk and pulled it down to the floor. I still had dial tone. Wonderful. The first persons I called were colleagues who live up the road from me. The wife answered the phone. She advised me to call 911 and she would try to contact her husband who was on the road. It was when I tried calling 911 that I broke down. It hadn't dawned on me that I would need to speak in Spanish. All knowledge of Spanish left me at that point. I called the colleague again and asked her to speak with the 911 guys for me since I couldn't remember any Spanish. My next call was to my cousins who live on the other side of town. They immediately made plans to come over. I then called other colleagues who lived a little further away from where I was, and finally I called my brother in Jamaica. Being the safety conscious person he is, he convinced me to get up off the floor and at least try to secure the room I was in. As I was doing that, my colleagues began to arrive. Okay, so that's where I'll stop for now. And if you really, really urgently need to hear the rest of the story, then, well, you don't have to be urgent, but go to Amazon and look for Godincidences, a Jamaican woman's journeys with God. And one of the things about this book is that it has a journaling component to it. So at the end of each chapter, there is an excerpt from one of my songs as well as a journal guide. So this particular chapter has the song that says, Massa God, they mind me. And me no need a thing. Him give me rest and him watch over me. And me no need a thing. When this life is over, me I go live with him. Yeah, yeah. Massa God, they mind me. And me no need a thing. Yeah. Okay, so for those of us who are not Jamaican speakers, it says, God is taking care of me and I don't need a thing. He gives me rest and watches over me, and I don't need a thing. When this life is over, I'm going to live with Him. God is taking care of me and I don't need a thing. And the journal guide says, have you come face to face with the immediate possibility of death? What was your response? What do you envision death to be like? And see, there is lots of space there. I don't know if you can see it. Yes, space there for the reader to journal. So, yes, go get your copy of Godincidences, a Jamaican woman's journeys with God. And stay tuned because from time to time I'll be reading little portions from this book. All right. All right. Wanna walk good and one love till next time.